Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now, imagine risking your life to arrest the city's most feared mafia don, only to get caught in less than 5 minutes. Now imagine the don looking at you, taking one deep sniff and saying, "Congratulations, you're my mate." Wait, what? Apparently, that's exactly what happened to our protagonist. His mission was to expose the mafia don, not to end up under the world's most luxurious house arrest. But as chaos, possessiveness, comedy, and dangerous secrets collide, one question remains: who is really playing whom? And before diving into this story, don't forget to check out my Patreon page for early access and exclusive bonus contents. Now, let's grab your snacks and dive into our today's story. Happy listening, everyone.
Chapter 1. Congratulations, you're under house arrest. The city of Noctis never truly slept. By day, it glittered with skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and billion-dollar corporations. By night, the same streets belonged to the underworld, where whispered names carried more power than laws. And among those names, one ruled above all: Kaelen Ashford, the world's youngest billionaire businessman, owner of the Ashford Group, philanthropist, investor, and the most feared Enigma Mafia Don in the underground. Nobody had ever managed to gather enough evidence to put him behind bars. That was exactly why Alpha Detective Noah Hayes volunteered. 26 years old, one of the sharpest detectives in the Crime Investigation Bureau, Noah had built a reputation for sarcasm, impossible arrests, and an uncanny ability to get under everyone's skin. His mission was simple: infiltrate the Ashford mansion as a newly recruited accountant, steal Kaelen's classified ledgers, expose the mafia. Go home. Easy. At least that was the plan. 3 days after successfully infiltrating the mansion, Noah finally found the hidden study beneath Kaelen's office. "So this is where the famous Don keeps his dirty secrets," he muttered, slipping inside. The room looked more like a luxurious private library than a criminal headquarters. Shelves lined with ancient books, expensive artwork, a crystal decanter filled with whiskey. In the center sat an elegant black safe. Noah smirked. "There you are." After bypassing 3 electronic locks and 1 fingerprint scanner with stolen access cards, the safe finally clicked open. Inside lay dozens of leather-bound ledgers. Jackpot. "One ledger," Noah whispered as he reached inside. "And this psychopath is finally going to prison." Click. He froze. That's not supposed to make that sound. Every light in the room switched on at once. Slowly, Noah turned around. Kaelen Ashford sat comfortably in a leather chair in the corner, lazily swirling a glass of whiskey as though he'd been watching a movie. His expensive black suit looked immaculate, and the faint smile on his face made Noah instinctively suspicious. "So," Kaelen drawled, "my new accountant? No. My interior designer? No. My future husband." "What?" Before Noah could process that ridiculous question, the walls slid open. More than 20 heavily armed guards poured into the room, rifles aimed directly at him. Noah sighed dramatically. "You people really overreact." One nervous guard glanced at Kaelen. "Boss, should we shoot?" Kaelen didn't even spare him a glance. Instead, he stood and walked toward Noah. Each step echoed through the silent room. The guards exchanged worried looks. Their boss looked unusually interested. Kaelen stopped inches away from Noah. Then, he leaned closer. "Excuse me, what are you—" Kaelen gently inhaled Noah's scent. Silence. Absolute silence. Kaelen blinked once, twice. His usually unreadable expression completely shattered. Mine." The room collectively stopped functioning. One guard whispered, "Boss broke." Another nodded solemnly. "He definitely broke." Kaelen calmly took Noah's wrist. "Cancel today's executions." "Sir?" "I found my mate." "We're canceling executions because the boss fell in love," one guard whispered to another. What a strange Tuesday. Noah was escorted to the mansion's interrogation room. He mentally prepared himself. Waterboarding, electric torture, broken fingers. Instead, Kaelen placed a plate of imported caviar and handmade crackers in front of him. Noah stared. "Caviar. You skipped lunch." "I'm your prisoner." "Yes." So? "So prisoners shouldn't starve. I literally broke into your secret study." "I know." "I'm trying to arrest you." "I know." "Eat." "I'm not hungry." Kaelen's shoulders visibly slumped. The head butler quietly covered his face. "Boss is being rejected." A maid beside him sniffled dramatically. This is heartbreaking. 5 full minutes later, Noah sighed. You people are unbelievable. He picked up one cracker and took a bite. Kaelen smiled so brightly that several guards instinctively shielded their eyes. I think the boss is glowing. Someone lower his happiness. The interrogation lasted exactly 12 minutes, mostly because Kaelen spent 10 of them asking Noah whether he preferred coffee or tea. When Noah finally snapped, aren't you supposed to ask me why I broke into your house? Kaelen simply smiled. I already know. You do? Detective Noah Hayes. Noah's eyes widened for the first time that day. Kaelen chuckled. I knew you were a detective the moment you applied for a job in my company. You hired me anyway? You looked cute. One guard coughed into his fist. Boss, that is not a legal reason. I own the company. Fair enough. Noah pinched the bridge of his nose. This is the most ridiculous criminal organization I've ever infiltrated. That evening, Kaelen made an announcement. Until your rehabilitation is complete. Noah frowned. My what? You'll remain in my penthouse. You're putting me under house arrest? Exactly. I hate you. I know. I'm still collecting evidence. I know. I'm arresting you someday. I know. Kaelen smiled warmly. I'll drive you to work every morning. The guards collectively stared at their boss. Boss? He's literally threatening to handcuff you. Kaelen nodded proudly. I know. He's adorable. Noah grabbed the nearest flower vase. I swear to God. Every guard ducked. Kaelen wisely stepped behind the sofa. Even the Don of Noctis knew one universal truth. An angry mate was scarier than rival mafias. The following weeks became the strangest house arrest in history. Noah searched every room in the mansion without restriction. Every office, every hidden hallway, every computer, every safe. Whenever he found a locked cabinet, Kaelen would casually hand him the key. If you're investigating me, Kaelen would say, you should investigate properly. The guards had stopped questioning reality. Meanwhile, Noah made it his personal mission to ruin Kaelen's peace. He hid the Don's watches, changed all the passwords to sarcastic phrases, reorganized his office because your filing system is embarrassing. One morning, Noah even confiscated every luxury sports car key. You're walking today. Kaelen blinked. Why? It builds character. Fair. The guards wanted to cry. Their terrifying Mafia Don, who once started a gang war over disrespect, obediently walked to work because his mate told him to. By the end of the month, everyone in Ashford Mansion had reached the same conclusion. They weren't afraid of Noah because he was the boss's mate. They were afraid because Detective Noah Hayes could terrify an entire mansion with one glare, including the Mafia Don himself. And Kaelen? He wouldn't have traded his impossible, sarcastic, stubborn detective for anything in the world. Chapter 2. The Power Bottom Declares War. 3 weeks after Detective Noah Hayes was placed under the world's strangest house arrest, one fact became universally accepted inside Ashford Mansion. The Mafia. Don wasn't the scariest person living there anymore. That title belonged to his mate. Every morning, Kaelen Ashford, the billionaire CEO of Ashford Group and the infamous Enigma Mafia Don, would leave for board meetings with international investors before casually attending underground syndicate meetings at night. He handled billion-dollar mergers before lunch. He negotiated mafia alliances after dinner. And somehow, the hardest part of his day was surviving breakfast with Noah. One particular morning, Kaelen entered the dining room. His personal chef was crying into an apron. Kaelen blinked. What happened? The chef pointed toward Noah with trembling fingers. He said my pancakes are emotionally disappointing. Noah calmly sipped his coffee. They're dry. The chef burst into fresh tears. I used imported butter. You wasted imported butter. Kaelen tasted one pancake. He's right. The chef let out a wounded gasp. My own boss betrayed me. Before breakfast could recover, the head of security sprinted inside. Boss, Kaelen looked up. Yes? We can't move any of the cars. Why? Noah locked every luxury car in the garage. Kaelen turned toward his mate. Did you? Noah buttered his toast. Yes. Reason. You own 12 cars. Walking builds character. Kaelen nodded thoughtfully. Fair. The guards looked ready to resign. Their terrifying Mafia Don had once destroyed an illegal racing syndicate for scratching his favorite car. Now he willingly walked to work because Noah told him to. The mansion staff quickly learned another important lesson. Never leave Noah unsupervised. One afternoon, Kaelen returned from a shareholders meeting. The mansion was suspiciously quiet. Too quiet. He opened the door to his office. Every file, every drawer, every shelf had colorful sticky notes attached. Organize your life. This handwriting belongs in prison. How are you a billionaire? Your filing system is an actual crime. Kaelen slowly smiled. He decorated. Noah looked up from the sofa. I criticized your paperwork. I know. You smiled. I know. You're unbelievable. I know. The head butler sighed. Our boss has completely lost his dignity. Despite Noah's constant complaints, Kaelen spoiled him relentlessly. Designer clothes mysteriously appeared in Noah's wardrobe. His favorite desserts magically appeared after dinner. His coffee was always prepared exactly the way he liked before he even woke up. When Noah caught a cold, Kaelen canceled 3 international meetings. When Noah merely sneezed, the mansion doctor arrived before Noah could grab a tissue. You people are ridiculous, Noah grumbled. Kaelen looked completely serious. My mate sneezed. That's an emergency. Noah stared at him for several seconds before muttering under his breath. You're such an idiot. The corner of his lips twitched upward. He never admitted it, but that warmth growing inside his chest whenever Kaelen fussed over him was becoming harder and harder to ignore. Being a detective, Noah never stopped investigating. He searched every hidden vault, every offshore account, every company owned by Ashford Group, every financial report. One evening, he froze while reading another audit. Wait, he checked another file, then another. 90% of these businesses are legal? Kaelen looked up from his laptop. I enjoy paying taxes. You're a Mafia Don. Yes. You own hospitals. Yes. Animal shelters. Yes. Scholarship foundations. Yes. Orphanages. Yes. Noah stared at him. You confuse me. Kaelen smiled gently. I confuse myself sometimes. Noah couldn't argue with that. Kaelen truly was like a coconut, hard enough to terrify the entire underworld, yet unbelievably soft once someone reached the inside. Without realizing when it happened, Noah started waiting every evening for Kaelen to come home. Dinner became routine. Arguments became routine. Watching terrible action movies became routine. This movie makes absolutely no sense. I know. Then why are we watching it? Because you look adorable when you're angry. I'm leaving. You've said that every night. You're right. 2 months later, after enduring endless nagging from Noah, I have a job. I know. I can't interrogate criminals from your penthouse forever. I know. I'm going back to work. Fine. Kaelen finally gave in. Noah returned to the Crime Investigation Bureau. However, he kept one very important secret. Nobody at the station knew that the city's most wanted mafia, Neen, was currently driving him to work every morning. His colleagues would absolutely lose their minds. Besides, if people discovered their relationship, every investigation involving Kaelen would become impossible. Back at the station, Noah slipped back into his old routine. His partner, Detective Liam, immediately threw a file onto his desk. Took you long enough? I was on vacation. Liam narrowed his eyes. You look healthier. I slept. You smile more. I do not. You literally just smiled. No evidence. His co-workers exchanged knowing looks. Something had definitely changed. They just couldn't figure out what. Meanwhile, Noah quietly used anonymous evidence that Kaelen had handed over to expose corrupt businessmen, traffickers, and several dirty officials. Whenever the evidence even remotely hinted that Kaelen had participated in a crime he hadn't committed, Noah edited the report, deleted false trails, destroyed forged documents. He wasn't a perfect saint. He was a good detective. But if someone tried framing his mate for something he hadn't done, Noah would make sure that person regretted waking up that morning, preferably before Kaelen ever found out. A week passed. Kaelen visited Noah every evening. Then, he didn't. 1 day, 2 days, 3. No calls, no flowers, no dinner. No ridiculously dramatic entrances. At first, Noah shrugged. He's busy. By the third day, he slammed his coffee mug onto the office table. Liam looked up. Bad morning? No. You've been glaring at your phone for 10 minutes. I'm not. You're holding it upside down. Mind your own business. That evening, Noah marched straight into Ashford Mansion. Where's Kaelen? The guards immediately straightened. Boss is away on a small business trip. You mean mafia business? Yes. And he didn't tell me? He said he didn't want you worrying. Silence. Every guard instinctively took one careful step backward. The head guard whispered, "He's angry." Another nodded. "Boss is finished." Noah folded his arms. "Take me to him. Immediately." "Yes, sir." No one dared argue. Not because he was the boss's mate. Because an irritated Detective Noah Hayes was genuinely terrifying. An hour later, they arrived at a luxury hotel where Kaelen was finishing a meeting. Just as Noah stepped inside, a beautiful woman walked out of the conference room. She smiled politely and gave Kaelen a brief congratulatory hug. It lasted barely a second. Noah's jaw tightened. The air around him became noticeably colder. One of Kaelen's lieutenants panicked. "Detective, that's just—" Before he could explain, Kaelen looked up. His eyes landed on Noah. Instantly. His entire face lit up like someone had switched on stadium floodlights. "Noah!" He hurried over with the enthusiasm of an oversized golden retriever. The moment he reached him, Noah grabbed Kaelen by the collar, pulled him down, and kissed him hard enough to completely shut down the Mafia Don's brain. The hallway fell silent. Several guards politely looked at the ceiling. Kaelen stood frozen, blinking like his soul had briefly left his body. When Noah finally let go, he narrowed his eyes. "Don't hug other people. Don't stand too close to them either. Otherwise, I'll beat the living daylights out of you." Kaelen nodded immediately. Okay. Not once did it occur to him that Noah had just been jealous. He simply accepted the new rule. Then his expression changed as he looked toward his men. "Why didn't anyone tell me Noah was coming?" Every lieutenant collectively pointed at Noah. "He ordered us not to." Kaelen sighed dramatically. "You all failed your mission," one guard muttered under his breath. "We were trying to survive." A few moments later, another lieutenant quietly approached Noah. "Sir, the lady is just one of Boss's overseas business partners. She has a mate. They've been married for years." Noah looked away. "I wasn't asking." "Of course not." Still, the strange knot in his chest loosened. He definitely wasn't jealous. Absolutely not. And no one in the syndicate was brave enough to suggest otherwise. From that day onward, their relationship only grew stronger, built on endless teasing, ridiculous arguments, unwavering trust, and an obsession that neither of them was willing to admit aloud. Noah would continue protecting innocent people as a detective. Kaelen would continue ruling the underworld with an iron fist, and together they somehow managed to become the city's most bizarre and happiest power couple. Chapter 3. Behind every villain stood two liars. Almost a year had passed since Detective Noah Hayes had accidentally, according to everyone except himself, been placed under house arrest by the city's most feared mafia don. Life had somehow settled into a routine. Kaelen continued running Ashford Group, one of the largest business empires in the country, while secretly maintaining the underworld's balance. Noah continued arresting criminals during the day and going home to the country's most wanted mafia don every night. It was oddly domestic. One afternoon, Detective Liam leaned against Noah's desk. "You know." "What?" "You've been suspiciously happy lately." "I'm always happy." "Yesterday you threatened a suspect with tax education." "He deserved it." Liam sighed. "I'm convinced you've secretly gotten married." Noah calmly drank his coffee. "Interesting theory." Unfortunately, not everyone appreciated Noah's success. Over the past year, he had dismantled several corruption rings, arrested influential businessmen, exposed politicians, and frozen millions in illegal assets. What Noah didn't know was that the real mastermind behind most of those crimes wasn't hiding in the underworld. They were sitting inside police headquarters. A corrupt division of senior officers had been working alongside a rival mafia family for years, quietly shifting every crime onto Kaelen's name. When Noah began investigating deeper, Alarm bells rang. If he keeps digging, we're finished. Their solution was simple. Destroy Noah instead. Within days, forged bank transfers appeared. Fake surveillance footage leaked. Edited phone calls surfaced. Suddenly, every news channel screamed the same headline. Detective Noah Hayes exposed as Mafia double agent. Pictures of Noah entering Ashford Mansion. Photos of him eating dinner with Kaelen. Security footage of them kissing. One reporter dramatically announced, they may even be in a romantic relationship. Noah stared at the television. Well, they're not wrong. Meanwhile, Ashford Mansion. A lieutenant ran into Kaelen's office. Boss, they put a bounty on Detective Noah. Silence. Kaelen slowly looked up. They what? They framed him. They're saying he's your accomplice. The room suddenly became very quiet. Every lieutenant instinctively stepped backward. One whispered, someone pray for those idiots. Another quietly nodded. They've chosen death. Within 24 hours, the entire underworld erupted. Every syndicate that accepted the bounty mysteriously disappeared. Warehouses exploded. Illegal accounts vanished overnight. Rival gangs surrendered before Kaelen's men even reached them. One frightened gangster cried, we haven't even done anything yet. A sniper calmly replied, wrong timing. Noah watched everything unfold while sipping tea. You know, he looked toward Kaelen. You might be overreacting. Kaelen blinked. They threatened my mate. Fair point. Unlike Kaelen, Noah preferred paperwork. He spent 3 sleepless days organizing every piece of evidence he'd secretly collected over the past year. Bank records, hidden recordings, confessions, encrypted files, one by one. Every corrupt commissioner, every politician, every businessman collapsed under their own lies. The courtroom was silent. Judge after judge signed arrest warrants. The media exploded again. Only this time, Noah was the hero. Then came the biggest surprise. At the official press conference, Noah walked to the microphone. I have one more announcement. Every camera flashed. He reached toward the side of the stage. Kaelen casually walked over. Gasps echoed across the room. Noah intertwined their fingers. Yes, the Mafia, Don and I are mates. Silence. Complete silence. A reporter fainted. Another quietly resigned on the spot. Noah continued calmly. Before any of you assume ridiculous things, he displayed Ashford Group's financial records. Hospitals, universities, research foundations, animal shelters, international businesses. Most of Ashford Group operates legally. The room fell silent again. Naturally, Noah neglected to mention the remaining 10%. Some information was simply unnecessary. Besides, his husband deserved to smile without carrying crimes he hadn't committed. If anyone tried to paint Kaelen as a monster again, Noah would erase them himself, quietly, efficiently. Preferably before Kaelen even noticed, after all. Detective Noah Hayes wasn't entirely a saint either. A week later, for the first time in months, they went on a proper date. No bodyguards, no guns, no emergencies. Just dinner beside the sea. Halfway through dessert, Kaelen smiled. You know, what? I've been meaning to tell you something. Noah raised an eyebrow. When you infiltrated my company, I already knew you were a detective. What? I knew from your application. You hired me anyway. Kaelen laughed softly. I wanted an excuse. To interrogate you? To spoil you. So I invented rehabilitation. Noah stared. You're unbelievable. I know. You manipulated an entire undercover operation just because I was your mate? Kaelen proudly nodded. It worked. Noah slowly smiled. I'll never leave you. And I won't let you leave me either. Kaelen beamed like a child receiving the world's greatest present. He completely missed the brief darkness that flickered through Noah's eyes. Their wedding was surprisingly simple. Only Noah's closest friends, Kaelen's loyal men, the mansion staff, even the chef cried. My pancakes brought them together. They absolutely did not, Noah deadpanned. The chef cried harder. After the wedding, Noah took a year's leave from the bureau. Officially, it was a reward for solving the country's biggest corruption case. Unofficially, he simply wanted uninterrupted time with his husband, so they moved into a luxurious coastal estate. Kaelen installed fingerprint locks, retina scanners, motion sensors, 3 security gates, 8 guard dogs. Noah stared. We're watching a movie. We're protecting the movie. From who? Possibilities? Noah rolled his eyes, then secretly smiled. His husband was ridiculously cute. One peaceful night. They curled up on the sofa to watch an action movie. 20 minutes later, Kaelen was asleep. His head rested against Noah's shoulder. Noah quietly looked down at him. His fingers gently brushed Kaelen's hair away from his forehead. His expression softened. Then, very slowly, his smile became something far more dangerous. Memories surfaced. A year and a half ago, an undercover narcotics operation, a charity gala, a poisoned drink, a collapsing businessman named Kaelen Ashford. Noah had been the one who caught him before he fell. He had called the doctors, stayed beside him until he recovered. That had been the first time Noah caught Kaelen's scent. Mate? From that moment onward, Noah had quietly altered every assignment that brought him closer. Accepted transfers, requested investigations, timed encounters, released just enough pheromones for Kaelen to recognize him. Even the undercover mission into Ashford Group hadn't been entirely luck. He had gently nudged fate in the direction he wanted. So when Kaelen confessed during their seaside date that he had planned everything from the beginning, Noah had nearly laughed. You adorable Enigma, you really thought you were the mastermind. He leaned down and softly cupped his sleeping husband's face. His thumb traced Kaelen's cheek with indescribable tenderness. So, Noah whispered with a fond smile only the sleeping man could see, you trapped me. A quiet chuckle escaped him. I suppose we trapped each other. Kaelen shifted in his sleep, instinctively reaching for Noah's hand. Noah intertwined their fingers without hesitation. Outside, waves crashed gently against the shore. Inside, the city feared one terrifying Mafia Don. The underworld respected one brilliant detective. Neither side would ever know the truth. That the real mastermind of the entire story was the sarcastic detective who had quietly fallen first and then, with patient determination, made sure fate did the rest.